If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I was able to quit my job and replace my income utilizing a strategy called gator lending, where I lend money to other investors short term and make outsized returns. In fact, today I actually just completed my 50th gator lending transaction, and to celebrate, I want to take the time today to talk to you about what I would do if I were to start over and rebuild a business making $10,000 per month. So to get started, let me introduce you to the Core 4. If you haven't already read it, I highly recommend $100 Million Leads by Hormozi, where he goes into this much more in depth, because that's where I'm going to get most of what I talk about today. Now here's the thing about a lending business. It's exactly that. A business. And just like any other business, you need leads to get customers so that you can make money. So if you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm ready to start gator lending, but where do I start? That's what this video is for. If you break down the Core 4, you'll see the 4 primary ways to get a lead for your business. There's warm outreach, cold outreach, there's posting free content online, and then there's paid ads. Let's talk about how each one of those can get you the gator deals that you're looking for. First is warm outreach. Check this out. When I first learned about gator lending and wanted to get started, what I did was very simple. I just started telling the people I knew. Think about it. Who do you know that's into real estate investing? Whether they buy properties or just wholesale them, they need earnest money. So your pitch to them should sound something like this. Would you be interested in having me lend the earnest money for your next transaction so that you don't have to have all of your money tied up in each one of your deals? It's that simple. Does that mean that they're necessarily going to say yes every time? Of course not. But if you can refine your pitch and keep going, you will get leads. Don't forget, just because somebody doesn't need your money right now doesn't mean they're not going to need it in the future. You can just put that in your back pocket. Speaking of, what is a warm lead exactly? Well, in this case, it's anyone that you're connected to. Sure, it could be your friends and family, those count, but it can also continue on from there. What about your Instagram followers, people at work? Anyone you have a connection to is a warm lead, and they may be a perfect fit. In my opinion, if I were to start my lending business from scratch, here's what I'd do. I'd start asking people I'm connected to until I found someone who at least fits into what I'm looking for. Then I'd offer to lend them money at a very low return. Why? Because this is your season of learning, not earning. Your first few transactions should be all about learning how to speak to title companies, getting contracts filled out, and as an added benefit, you'll gain proof that you're actively doing deals. Do this a few times until you're able to get the hang of it. Got that? All right, now let's move on to the next lead source, cold leads. If you're watching this, there's a good chance you're one of those people that's posted on Facebook saying, I've got EMD to lend, just like everybody else. Ever notice that there's thousands of people saying the same thing online? Why should anyone listen to what you have to say? Well, if you're following this blueprint that I'm talking about, it's because you have evidence. If everyone is offering to lend money, but you have the proof that you've done it multiple times and have systems in place, who do you think they're gonna ask to lend? Reaching out to cold leads means offering your services at meetups, messaging everybody on social media, or any other way you can think of to get in front of new potential customers that you haven't met or been connected to before. Again, this is exactly what I did. After doing my first few lending deals with people, I started using them as leverage. I would show people I didn't know my proof and explain to them that if they choose me as their lender, I can give them better rates, experience, and much quicker turnaround time than anybody else. This was enough to land me my next few clients and continue building out my resume. Next, after cold leads comes posting free content. And now here's a little secret, if you haven't already picked up on it. Stop doing this step first. Although it doesn't take any effort to post on Facebook that you want to lend money, you also have no credibility. It's like posting your Airbnb with 0 reviews and just praying that you're gonna get picked over the thousands of others with the same thing. Why even try it if you don't have something that's gonna set you apart? Remember, the goal here is to first stack evidence that you are legit. By the time you've done that successfully, you'll have a huge leg up on 99% of everybody else. Use it. You can now start posting on social media about what you're actually doing, not just something you want to try. In doing so, you can give other people a taste of what it might be like to work with you. Here's a few examples of when I did this. What do all of these posts have in common? Action. They're all centered around what I'm actively doing, proving through my experiences that I can do what I say I can do. My very first post like this still brings me leads to this day. All right, so we've gotten a few deals from a friend, leveraged those deals to get deals from strangers, and now we've posted about that experience online through free content to get even more deals. What else can you do? Well, the final leg of the core 4 is running paid ads. But since I've never done that and I only talk about things that I have done and have experience with, I'm not gonna go into that today. But here's the final piece to the puzzle that is constantly being overlooked: referrals. Referrals are probably one of the most undervalued aspects of building a business when getting started. Remember, all of those people that you lent money to when you were getting started, what are the chances they know somebody else that's doing similar or the exact same work that could use your services as well? Pretty dang high. So why wouldn't you use that to your advantage? There's quite literally no downside to taking a few extra seconds to ask anybody that you're already working with if they know somebody else that might need your services. And if they do, offer to pay them a split of the proceeds from every deal. That is my fourth and final way of getting consistent leads. Every time I close a deal with someone new, I let them know that I'll pay them on every additional deal that closes with anyone they refer to me. It's the single biggest reason why my revenue and deals have increased every single month since I started. Not to mention, it's usually more fun to get more people involved. It's real estate. So there you have it. That's my full and short blueprint for how to get Gator deals starting from nothing. And if this applies to you, please make sure you do all of it safely and correctly. That means never doing a deal where your money is wired outside of escrow. No earnest money should ever touch somebody's personal bank account. Protect yourself and send the money to a third party. Also, never do a deal without contracts in place. It's not worth it. And if you don't have contracts written specifically for this type of lending transaction by an attorney, click the first link below to joint venture with me so we can make sure that you are not messing up your first deal and souring all of the rest of them. Lastly, don't forget that anytime you lend money, you can lose it. This is an unfortunate reality to lending, and it's part of the process when getting such high returns. If you're not in a position to lose money yet, stay focused on building up your other revenue streams and capital until you are. With all that being said, I hope this video was able to provide you with some clarity and maybe some next steps on how to get into Gator lending. If you haven't already seen it, check out this video for the basics of Gator lending before getting started. Until next time, good luck with it. Peace.